You're watching Thai PBS English News Service and I'm Supachon Klinswan. A third major cabinet reshuffle of Yingluck Shinawat's government is expected to be at the end of June, which coincides with 111 former executives of the Thai Party having their 5-year ban from politics lifted. Political analysts speculate that some of the unbanned politicians may be back working in ministerial posts. The Thai Party leader insists that it all depends on the sole decision of the Prime Minister. But former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawat has signaled that he will not accept some of the 111 banned politicians who previously betrayed him. Thai Party leader Yongyut Wichaitit says the PM will decide when the cabinet should be reshuffled, as well as who will take post in the cabinet, adding that there might not even be a reshuffle, even when the bans of the 111 politicians are lifted. The PM has been asked about the possible cabinet reshuffle many times, but has refused so far to give a definitive answer. According to Nopadon Patama, Thaksin's legal advisor, Thaksin will never forget that some members of the Palang Prachachon Party, a predecessor of the defunct Thai Party, defected to be part of Abhisit's coalition government, and that Thaksin will not give another chance to the banned politicians of Phumjai Thai Party to return to Pheu Thai and take a position in the cabinet. Additionally, the banned politicians who are expected to join Yingluck's cabinet are the former executive members of the Thai Party, like Suwat Liptaphalop, who might be a deputy minister position, Jaturon Chai Sang for Education Minister, Pongthep Thep Kanchana for Justice Minister, and Warathep Ratanakon for Finance Minister. Meanwhile, Suranan Wecha Chiwa and Sontaya Khun Ploom may also be among the new ministers. Meanwhile, opposition leader Abhisit Wechachiwa asked the Prime Minister to reshuffle the cabinet because he says some ministers, such as the Commerce Minister and the Energy Minister, are failing to curb the high cost of goods and energy problem. But he does not agree with a change of Deputy Prime Minister General Yuttasak Sasiprapha, as General Yuttasak has only been assigned to solve the southern unrest problem. Still in politics, Somsak Prisanananthakul, a former executive and banned politician from the dissolved Thai Party, was today sentenced to imprisonment and a fine for concealing his assets from the National Counter-Corruption Commission. The NCCC won today's court case against Somsak Prisanananthakul, sending the former executive of the dissolved Thai Party to prison for 6 months and fining him 10,000 baht. However, the court decided to suspend the jail term for 3 years, meaning he remains a free man for now. Somsak was found guilty of hiding at least 28 million baht worth of assets. Politicians found concealing their assets can be banned from politics for 5 years. Yet, Somsak has already been banned from politics since December 2008, as his entire Thai Party was dissolved and all its executives were banned for 5 years, so his ban from politics was not extended. Somsak and his fellow Thai executives may officially return to politics in 2013. The National Security Council intends to amend strategic plans and laws related to security along the country's coastlines in an effort to solve the southern unrest. Meanwhile, the Deputy PM in charge of security believes that the Organization of Islamic Countries visit next week will not interfere with Thailand's internal issues. High-ranking members of the OIC plans to visit Thailand between May the 7th and the 13th. Most time will be spent in the Deep South. However, General Yuttasak Sasiprapha, Deputy PM in charge of national security, believes the OIC's visit to Thailand will not interfere with Thailand's internal matters, as the government has already launched the latest round of efforts to end southern insurgency. The government will, however, explain its side of the story to the Deep South to the members of the OIC. In the peace restoration process, General Yuttasak says certain laws and strategic methods related to the military may need to be revamped, especially relating to maritime boundaries. On May the 17th, some 77 state agencies from 17 ministries will join a workshop to create a single line of command in solving southern unrest. Thailand has placed the Karansko Bhutrong's leader on the country's list of most wanted drug dealers, and General Nakammoy's latest retaliation is to order the current people along the border with Thailand not to buy goods from the Thai shops in Tak province. The Army Commander-in-Chief of the Karans, Drought, has assigned about 50 soldiers to block the border checkpoint at Mesot district of Pak province and ordered his people not to cross the border into Thailand after Thailand added General Nakhamoy's name to the list of top 25 drug dealers last week. Meanwhile, security officers in Mesot, Pang, and Phopra districts continue to warn Thais not to cross the border into Myanmar, especially into the Karens territory, as it is too dangerous. In addition, the Office of Local Stability Department has indicated that Nakhamoy has sent a report to Myanmar's government asking for permission to close other border crossing points, including the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge, and if his petition is approved, the official borderline closure will affect all trade in the area. The inflation rate for the month of April, calculated by the Ministry of Commerce, is the lowest for 2 years and 5 months, causing disbelief among citizens and academics experts alike. The ministry, however, confirms the accuracy of its calculation method, which took into account over 60,000 commodity prices, and challenges disbelievers to provide proof of any errors.
The skeptical public is now raising questions as to the veracity of the inflation rate for the month of April, as published by the Ministry of Commerce. A 2.47% inflation figure, as suggested by the ministry, makes it the lowest inflation rate in the last 2 years and 5 months, which appears to fly in the face of the ever-increasing commodity prices. Yan Yong Phuongrat, Permanent Secretary of the Commerce Ministry, affirms the accuracy of the calculation, stating that the figure was derived from a survey of 60,000 commodity prices with no distortions on the price tags and no interference from the government. He also requests those who have proof that the ministry falsifies the inflation rate to provide the evidence. Furthermore, the Commerce Ministry revealed that the price of pork this year is lower than that of the previous year. At present, pork red meat is priced at around 125 to 135 baht per kilogram, down from 140 to 150 baht per kilogram last year, while size 2 eggs are sold at 2 baht 80 satang to 2 baht 90 satang each, down from 3 baht 80 satang to 4 baht each last year. However, ThaiPBS visit to Tao Poon Market found a lot of food and ingredients are selling at prices higher than the price suggested by the ministry. Some are almost 2 times more expensive. This also questions the ministry's claims of being able to control commodity prices. Meanwhile, Apisit Wechashiwa, opposition party leader, called for the Commerce Ministry to calculate inflation rates that better reflect reality, so that such figures can be used as official references. Apisit also commented that the government does not have the right policies for mitigating the rising cost of living and is actually further aggravating the public's woes by raising energy prices.
As some automakers are still questioning Thailand's flood safety measures and consider moving production elsewhere, American automaker Ford has opened its second plant in Rayong province, with the U.S. ambassador saying that she's confident in Thailand. Here's more from Hugh Adams.
Company Ford has opened its second Thai factory in the eastern province of Rayong. After investing some 14 billion baht in this new production base, Ford will now be able to produce 150,000 cars and trucks per year at the plant, making the total annual output from their 2 factories an astounding 445,000 vehicles a year. Despite the possible threat of floods, the president of Ford Asia Pacific and Africa is confident that the Thai government will be able to handle future floods effectively.
So our plant here wasn't affected by the Thai floods, but of course so many of our suppliers were. And our suppliers are taking extra precautions for the future, barriers, contingency planning if something happens. We have been affected by the floods, of course, but we're committed for Thailand for the long term.
Meanwhile, the industry minister, Momrajawong Pongsawat Sawadiwat, insists Thailand will stay the course to become one of the top 10 car manufacturing and exporting countries in the world, adding that he believes no car production companies will leave Thailand. The Thai government boasts that the 2012 goal is to produce 2 million vehicles by October. The US ambassador said that the new factory reflects a comeback for US car companies as well.
It's good for America, it's good for Thailand, it's good for ASEAN. You know, I think this is a real growing trend. Thailand's really becoming the Detroit of Asia. And it's exciting, I think, for all of us to see the US auto industry back, but back in Thailand.
Since 2007, Ford has been the largest automotive investor in Thailand, spending over 46 billion baht on its local operations. Hugh Adams, Thai PBS.
This is a good news for everyone throughout the country who are suffering under the scorching hot weather at the moment. Many weather forecast agencies have confirmed in unison that both the drought and the heat crisis will improve as the southwest monsoon covers Thailand, but it will likely bring with it heavy rain throughout the country. At present, 50 provinces is experiencing drought, while the country's major reservoirs are around 50% full. Nevertheless, the Royal Irrigation Department reported that there is more water in the reservoirs than in the same period last year, where the major reservoirs were just 45% full. Even though the amount of water being drained out of the reservoirs since the start of the year, 12 billion cubic meters, is twice of that of the average rate, 5 to 6 billion cubic meters. Director General of the Royal Immigration Department confirms that the drought season is coming to an end and that sufficient water will be distributed to farmers who live near irrigation systems. Additionally, both the Thai Meteorological Department and the Hydro and Agro-Informatics Institute say that the drought and scorching hot weather are going to improve from now on, as the rainy season is about to arrive around the middle of this month. In fact, we will experience heavy rain starting from tomorrow, which will spread across the country as the southwest monsoon is making its way to Thailand. The chair of the Nobel Peace Prize winning Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, was in Thailand today to present a report on managing the risks of extreme events and disasters to advance climate change adaptations. He told our reporter, Kun Pimnara Aruno, that Thailand may still prevail over global warming if governments work together under his proposal. Here's more.
There's an increase in heat waves all over the world. There's also an increase in extreme precipitation events. That means heavy falls that will take place in short periods of time. And this means that if you look at the whole range of impacts that's going to take place, and some of which will cause extreme events and disasters, we have to adapt to them. And the purpose of this report, which also outlines some of the adaptation measures, is to see that societies across the world start adaptation measures which would reduce the risk to life and property. And I think this region is particularly vulnerable. Southeast Asia and the ASEAN countries should also cooperate, and we've highlighted the importance of international cooperation. As it happens, the poorest countries and the poorest regions are the ones that are the most vulnerable, and therefore poverty is certainly a major factor in defining vulnerability.
Thank you, Kupin Mara. As the peak of this hot summer seems to stay a little longer than other years, it's not only humans who have to take good care of their health, but animals also need extra care to survive in the heat. Today we will see how the professionals at Dusit Zoo or Khao Din Park right here in Bangkok, Thailand, take care of their animals, as well as receiving a few safety tips on how you could keep your animal friends healthy so they can too enjoy the months in the sun and fun. Gan Rak Tham, our animal-loving reporter, was at the zoo today.
Dusit Zoo is located in the heart of Bangkok, where temperatures can reach 42 degrees Celsius in the middle of the day. As the zoo contains about 1,300 species of animals and is on any kid's wish list of places to visit, especially in summer, the zoo has to keep our friends in the animal kingdom cool in the scorching heat. Walking into the Dusit Zoo during the summer, you will see the sprinklers spraying water around to keep the animals cool, and more large trees have been planted as the zoo works to provide more shade for the residents.
Yeah, the digestion, when we use the fresh food, the animal will play with and they love to have something cool and they can eat too and play too. Yeah. All of them is okay, but just because maybe we have experience in the past and then we prepare for them very well. Yeah. Okay.
However, the cooling water and big trees might not be enough during this extremely hot summer. Another useful tip is to feed the animals with frozen foods like frozen yogurt as well as frozen ham and fish.
When they have a problem, just like a panting, just like a lay down, just like the others, please come to talk to the veterinarian and the scientists, and going to see what's happened to the animals.
Furthermore, the hot weather does not just make the animals feel uncomfortable, but it could also lead to severe illness like the heat stroke, which could mean them ending up in the pet cemetery. Even with emergency treatment, heat stroke can be fatal, but with a good precaution like feeding them frozen food and bathing them with cold water, you and your furry friends can enjoy these long, hot dog days of summer. Viewers at home can apply these tips to cool your pets with clean water. Never leave them in a parked car, and for the thick fur pet, the owner may want to clip the fur as long hair can trap in too much heat. การกรรักธรรม Thai PBS.
Thank you, Gan Klon. That's all the time we have for this evening. We'll see you again next time Monday night. I'm Subhajoy Klin Suwan. Good night. สวัสดีครับ